All right, guys, I am back with what I'm calling my triple play review. This will be the first triple play review that I do, where I'm going to review 3 different TV shows in this one review. And I will put chapter markers in the video so you can jump to whatever show you would like the review on. And this is on basically the Marvel shows on Disney Plus. I have been trying to catch up on stuff that I just could never watch in preparation for the Echo show that does drop in 4 days, because I'm looking forward to that one. And to do this, I had to go back and watch She-Hulk. I had to finish Hawkeye. And I'm going to do, the last review is going to be my review on Secret Invasion, which I wanted to do a long time ago and just never got around to it. So first I'm going to talk about Hawkeye. I'm going to talk about Hawkeye first, then I'll talk about She-Hulk, and then I'm going to talk about Secret Invasion. So let's talk about Hawkeye. I will tell you that I have watched the only 3 shows on Disney Plus that I had gotten all the way through was the Captain America show. That I don't remember anything about that show, to be honest with you. I don't remember the plot line or anything other than a couple of different factions were fighting and whatever. That show was forgettable, okay? I watched Moon Knight, which was enjoyable, but at the end of the day, it was kind of pointless. They copped out on showing the special effects. And then the only other one I've watched all the way through is Secret Wars. I had started She-Hulk and stopped it. I had started Hawkeye and stopped it. I have started Loki and stopped it twice. I still have 1 or 2 episodes to go on Loki. These shows just are not that good, guys. These are not like the level of the shows that we had when Netflix had these Marvel properties. So, let's talk about Hawkeye. Now, I will tell you that out of all of the shows that I've watched, Hawkeye is the most watchable out of any of them. I actually enjoyed this one, but the storyline, and you're going to see amongst all of these shows, there is a common theme. There's a reason why most people online are calling it the MCU, because this was not truly a Hawkeye show. Yes, Hawkeye was in it, but it was more about the girl that they introduced in this show, played by Haley Steinfeld. I always say her name wrong. Haley Steinfeld. She played Kate Bishop. Now, the one thing I want to point out is that Hawkeye only had 6 episodes. One of the shows I'm going to talk about today actually got 9, which no other Disney Plus show has had 9 episodes, except for this one, and it was mind-blowing as to why they did. I just don't get it. But in this show for Hawkeye, I can't even remember how it started. I mean, this is how forgettable these shows are. I don't remember exactly how this all started, but I do remember that they introduced Echo in one of the first few episodes, which is, and again, this is why I was watching all these shows to get ready for Echo, that she was introduced in this. And we don't really find out who the bad guy is until the very, I think, the final or the next to last episode in Hawkeye, when they decide to bring Kingpin back. And this last episode was very entertaining in Hawkeye. It was definitely building up to this last episode. But again, the show's not really about Hawkeye. Even if you look at the poster for it, it's all purple. This is all about girl power, guys. Girl power. Girl power. In fact, they brought Florence Pugh back, Black Widow's sister, to be in this, to go and kill Hawkeye. And you got Haley Steinfeld. She's in it as a Hawkeye wannabe. And in the final episode, she is the star of the episode. In fact, it's kind of strange how she was able to take down Kingpin. She was able to do stuff that was really difficult for Daredevil to do during the shows on Netflix. Like, I'm watching this going, wow, she's getting thrown around pretty good by him in the final episode, and she comes out of it unscathed. Amazing. These women in these Marvel shows are just incredible. Absolutely incredible. They are definitely better than the guy counterparts. And wow, something to watch. So at the end of the day, the story was decent. I don't like how Jeremy Renner was put in the back seat for Kate Bishop. But, whatever. This is what the writers are doing. This is why they're struggling. The show was still very watchable. It was very well directed. It was very well acted. But they're definitely propping up the girls to be the heroes here, and it's just a bit annoying. And there were some cool things at the end of this show, though, and I did enjoy it. Like I said, I've enjoyed it more than any of the other Marvel shows on Disney Plus so far. So at the end of the day, what would I give Hawkeye as far as a star rating? I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's entertaining, but it is definitely being pushed by an agenda. All right, so now let's talk about She-Hulk. Now, I'm going to pull up, I want to make sure I have the names here. So I'm pulling up She-Hulk here. And She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Oh my gosh. I have struggled to get through this show. This show is an abomination. And wait until you hear how many stars I give this show at the end of this review. So I started this when it first came out. I wanted to see if it was going to be any good. This was before the reviews came out for it, and I tried to watch it, guys. I really did. I got a couple of episodes in and said, I can't watch this anymore. Because she did everything. Once she got her power, she did everything better than Bruce Banner could from the get-go. She was the woman. She was the one. And this girl power, the MCU, they're going full force, especially with this show. And I got a couple episodes in, and then I left it. I watched a couple more episodes months later, and then I was like, I just can't watch this. And then Echo gets announced, and Daredevil's back. And I know that he was in She-Hulk towards the end, so I'm like, damn, now I got to go back and watch She-Hulk. So I finished it this morning. Oh my gosh, guys. My gosh. First of all, this show had no storyline to it. I'm telling you right now, there was no storyline to this show other than to bring She-Hulk into this and make her the woman. There's twerking in this. There's weddings. There's datings. There's double crosses. There's multiple one-night stands with her with men. This show had no storyline to it. No joke. And what was crazy is, I get all excited at the end. They're going to reintroduce Daredevil in this. This is not the Matt Murdock. This is not the Matt Murdock of the Daredevil show from Netflix. This is definitely an alternate version of this character. He is smiling the entire time, cracking jokes, has a one-night stand with her, and when he's leaving, he's walking out in sunlight without his shoes on, in his Daredevil costume, walking down the street. This was like some teenage rom-com, and they even listed it as a comedy. I did not laugh once, not even once, through this show. It was ridiculous. So we get the funniest part about watching the show is I get to the 8th episode, and the way it ended, I'm like, what? That's the end of the show? What a dumb ending. I wouldn't even call it a cliffhanger. Someone stole her information, posted it all online, made her angry. She goes crazy in this lawyer thing she's at for an award, and then they go outside and they arrest her. And I'm like, well, this is a stupid ending to a stupid show. And then all of a sudden, the menu comes up on Disney Plus, and there's a 9th episode. I was like, what? Out of all of the shows, they give this show 9 episodes? What? So I go to watch the 9th episode, and the whole 9th episode is about breaking the fourth wall. She's not happy with how the season's gone. They know they wrote garbage, so they're like, how can we turn this to make this something funny that's clever? Well, it wasn't clever writing, guys. There's nothing clever about this. They know that the show was terrible, so they turn it into nothing other than her breaking the fourth wall, meaning she turns to the camera, and the whole episode she's talking directly to the camera. She breaks out of the show entirely, goes down to the Marvel Studios. Like, I'm watching this going, what in the world am I watching here? It's not funny. It's not well written. It's just the whole show was a debacle. I will never, ever, ever, ever watch that show again, and I will definitely not watch a season 2 if they come out with a season 2. And the special effects in the show were freaking terrible. Absolutely terrible. There was nothing good about this show. So at the end of the day, how many stars do I give She-Hulk? 0. I could never recommend this show to anybody, ever, for any reason. I can't recommend it to girls. I can't recommend it to boys. I don't even know who the target audience was with that particular show. This is Secret Invasion. Okay, this was the show that got released earlier in 2023. And I was excited to watch Secret Invasion because finally it looked like they were going to take Marvel seriously again. And hey, we had the big guy back. We actually had Nick Fury back to kick butt. And like I said, Daenerys was in this. So Gaia, she played, I believe her name was Gaia in the show, played by Emilia Clarke. And, I was really excited for this. But first of all, the special effects in this show were lackluster. There were some pretty amazing action sequences in this show, but the special effects kind of held it back. There was a big ambush at the end of, I think, the second episode, if I'm not mistaken, and the execution was really well done, but you can tell that it's on a TV show budget. And we find out in Secret Invasion that Nick Fury has a wife, which I thought was an interesting dynamic. There were some pretty cool things that were brought up in this show. And there were actually some double crosses that I didn't see coming. And I'm sitting here watching the show and going, what is this? Like, why are these people doing this? And then they do explain it at the very end of the program. But at the end of the day, the show was kind of pointless. And again, this was about female empowerment because we get to the final episode and we get to the finale. We get to the action sequence that's going to happen at the end. And you think, oh, Nick Fury is going to save the day. And he doesn't. It's this character of Gaia. They make Emilia Clarke the hero of the show. It's all about the females. And keep in mind that this character was killed in the first or the second episode, but they brought her back to be the hero, and she is the one who saves everybody at the end. It was another one of those bait and switch type of situations. And this is what is killing these superhero films, guys. It doesn't have to be all about males. It doesn't have to be all about females. You had Black Widow. You had Wonder Woman. You had all these great female characters, but instead they're forcing this stuff down everybody's throats. And there's a reason why they're calling it the MCU. So at the end of the day, what do I give Secret Invasion? At the end of the day, I give Secret Invasion a 3 out of 5 stars. Again, it was entertaining. It was definitely more serious and taken way more seriously than the other two shows. But again, with the bait and switch at the end and the whole point of what they're trying to do here, and they're forcing these issues with these females, I can't give it anything higher than that. I really wish they would take more care with some of these stories. Secret Invasion should have been something special, but instead they had to ruin it with agendas. All right, guys, so there is my review on the 3 shows. I do appreciate all the support. I'll be doing more of these triple plays with movie reviews and TV shows possibly in the future, but I'm going to try to most of the time keep them as single reviews. I really wanted to do Secret Invasion a long time ago when I first watched it, but never got around to doing it. Got busy with other things. Marvel is not my top priority. I'm not a Marvel fan per se, although I do enjoy some of the movies and the shows. I loved what Netflix used to do, but this Disney Plus stuff just is not cutting it. It's hard to swallow. But Secret Invasion was watchable. Hawkeye was watchable as well. She-Hulk, I tell people, don't even bother. If you haven't watched it, there's absolutely no point in watching it. All right, guys, we will see you on the next review.